Hello all, welcome to my YouTube channel for ServiceNow hacks. Let's get started. In this video, the topic which I'm picking is how to resume the stuck workflow or how to progress the workflow which is stuck somewhere, right? So let's get started how we can do that. So for showing you the demo, I have just created a simple workflow here that this workflow will basically create a begin, and it will create a checker task, then the closure review task, then wait for the state to review, and it will end. This is for the change module which I have created. And if you see the property, the condition which I have given is this flow especially work for the change ticket which is a normal type, and the state is implement. Whenever the state moves to implement, there are two tasks which will generate, right? And also I have if you open this checker task and review task, I have not given any assignment group here. Purposefully, I have not given this because I've also created one simple business rule that if the change task is creating and if the short description is checker task or closure review task and assignment group is not is empty, basically is empty, then it should abort it. If the assignment group is empty, then we are aborting that. I'm also saving this. Uh, Business rule so that we'll see basically my intention, this flow should run whenever I move the change ticket to implement, but we should not, the checker task and review task should not be logged, so that how we can go back to the previous activity and trigger the flow again. So that I just wanted to showcase to you. So we'll start that process. So currently I have also already logged a change request which is in a scheduled state. Let's move to implement. See, there is a error message because of the BR which has already been triggered. And if you come down and come to the task, we already have a out of the box task which is implement, and post implementation testing task has been created. However, we don't have a checker task and closure review task which is not generated, and the change is already moved to implement. And if you click on the show workflow, see, this activity is finished, this activity is finished, and now we are waiting for this scenario. Why I'm showcasing this is in our real-time scenario also, due to the business rule we configured, or due to sometimes ServiceNow issue itself, the activity will be showing as finished. However, the particular activity, what action has to be taken, that action is not taken. In this case, we are expecting to create two tasks here, checker task and closure review task, which has not been created due to the BR. In real time scenario, it may be any cases, but now I just want this workflow to be moved back to this create task activity, and I should create a task within this workflow itself instead of deleting this workflow and creating a new workflow, right? We'll see how that works. Before that, I'll stop this business rule, because this is the business rule which we caused. Ideally, when in the real-time scenario also, once you found the root cause, once you are correcting it, then you should go back to the previous activity, right, within the workflow. We'll see how that works. I'm just making this as a duplicate one, change ticket which I have opened. The first step is open the workflow context. See, once you open the workflow context, the state should be in the executing steps, right? In this case, we are moving the flow back to the previous activity. So the current workflow executing activities wait for state review, and here also you can able to see the wait for state review. Some cases what happens, this entry itself will not be there and this will be completely blank. In that case, you have to create a new activity under workflow executing activity. However, you're not finding a new option here. For that, go here, configure list control. Once list control is open, there is an option vomit new button. Uncheck this and update this. This basically gives you the new option here. You can able to see new option is there. And once you click on the new, what has to be configured, I'll let you know. So I'll just duplicate this activity again. and I'm just clicking on new. See, once I click on new, every field within this is read only. So I want to take the activity here particularly. So what I can do, I can go to configure within the workflow executing, go to UI policy. See, we have a default read only UI policy touching that all the fields within this workflow executing will be read only. Make this to false. Once this is done, reload your workflow execution. See, we have a new option as well as we have an existing activity which is already running, right? So go to new. Now see, we are able to see the activity state and execution, right? Now you should know, basically for me this is the activity which I should go back, create task, the checker task, then it will also create a closure review task, then it will come to wait for the state review again, right? Likewise, you should know in your workflows which is the previous activity you want to go back. Accordingly, you have to select the activity here, but if you click on here, there are many activities which are coming, so you cannot simply select the one, or you cannot simply type the name also and select it. Sometimes you will have duplicate values which will come up. So the best way to take the activity for that is, if you go back to your workflow context, in the workflow transition history, you have all the history which has already finished, the activities which are finished. So now we want to go back to checker task activity. So don't open this record, particularly this whole record, whatever is available within the workflow transition history. We should not open this. Basically, we should open this particular activity, checker task. Open this. See, this is a workflow activity. So this one you have to open, and do not open the history record. History record you don't open, and the activity which you required to be go back to the previous one. That one you have to select, then copy the sys ID of it. Once you copied the sys ID, in the workflow execution activity, we have already clicked on new, and there is an activity which we need to select, right? In this, open this, go to filter with the sys ID. So select this. See, we got the checker task, right? Once this is there, the state should be executing and not running or not any other thing. State should be executing. Just save this. See, now we have saved the workflow, execution part. And if you come back and reload, we have a checker task activity which is executing. We have a wait for state review which is running. So there is another way where you can do is you can open this only and change the activity. However, it's always best to create a new one. Since I want to go back to this activity, I'm just deleting this record which is running. Okay, now I have activated the new button. I have selected the checker task sys ID, then created a new, and the new workflow execution is executing now. The state should be in the executing state only. Okay, once that is done, see, there is no task either for now, right? The next step what you need to do is the workflow context, whatever you have opened, you have to click on nudge button. So this will show you attempt to start the hung workflow. It means as soon as you click on nudge, see the workflow is in this state now, and click on nudge, reloads, the activity is resumed now. See, there are two tasks which are generated, and if you see the workflow, see it has gone back to checker task, closure review task, and again it is started with this waiting for review state. So we are also got the checker task and review task available here. So in this way, you can resume, you can go back to the previous activity where it is actually stopped, or due to any issue sometimes in the within the workflow, that will just pass it, and due to script issue or any issue, that will just pass it, but that particular activity will never run. In that case, you can correct the script and everything. You can go back to the previous activity, right, and you can enable it. You can resume the workflow wherever it is there. So this is for the existing task where you can existing change request or existing workflow context where you can apply this. So once you resumed your workflow and the tasks which are created already, right, so you have to go back to your list control and roll back the changes whatever you have done. Enable the omit new button again and update it. And once you open this, see these all are right only, right? Go to UI policy again and make this active. So roll back those changes whatever you have done, because any other admin, if they open and if they are getting a edit option, so that could be cause another problems. So better you roll back the changes of new button which you enabled, and also UI policy which has been disabled, right? So that's it for this video. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe and support. Thank you all.